I think that we're getting more and more intentional every day. And I think that it just takes a lot of awareness and kind of like self-reflection on like what are we trying to do? What is success? What does this look like? And again, just to reiterate, like and being okay with the fact that things change over time. I think that that's where
Yeah.
maybe I've struggled the most is that like some people live in like their glory days. Um, for me, like, dude, the CrossFit Games were phenomenal for me, but they weren't my
Mhm.
glory days. Like, my glory days are now. Like, dude, I'm get to watching my kids throw down. Like, I'm 30, I turned 38 in 2 weeks, and I feel like I'm just getting started. Like, truly, I do. I feel like I'm just getting started because I'm old enough to kind of have this perspective and growth mindset, but I'm young enough to still be hungry and want to do better in all areas of my life. And so it's like, it's a good time, man. I hope everybody listening who's
Yeah.
like in their late 30s, 40s, even early 50s feels that same way.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I witnessed in Tahoe. Um, and I'm sure you've experienced this with as much as you've been involved in sports in your life. Some of the best players do not always make the best coaches, right? That's a
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
different skill set that does not translate.
For sure.
And one of the things that I've seen in you, you're an incredible coach. It's a testament to why you've been able to build what you've been able to build so far. But now the evolution that I saw is you're not just training adults, guys like me, that next generation of kids and infusing this like just training as part of a lifestyle,
Yep.
not like work, but it's like, no, this is just how you should be. And I know like my kids, I'm like, yeah, let's get in as many of those rooms as possible because I don't want them to just hear it from dad. I want them to hear it from guys like you. And that's what's kind of cool. The next evolution for you is what's that next generation? And, someday maybe it's your kids' kids because I know you're
Yeah.
going to keep getting after it and you're probably going to be the fittest like 70-year-old that
Dude,
you can
that's
be,
the goal. That's the goal. I mean, like the way that I look at sports is like sports and training is it's just got to happen. It has to happen because it teaches you so many life skills you're going to use for the rest of your life. And the way I look at self-defense is kind of like brushing your teeth. Like you don't really necessarily want to always do it, but you need to do it. That's the way I look at self-defense for the kids. But when it
Mhm.
comes to sports and training, it should just be a part of your life because you're gonna get so much more from it than what you're putting into it. It's gonna be night and day for you. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and I'm all about it. I know, especially sports and group sports.
So you just cued a conversation we had out in
Uh-oh.
Tahoe. Um, I hope you're cool with sharing this. I think you will
Dude,
be.
dude, I
So,
like to
so,
shoot. Yeah.
so you mentioned, so is Ava 12 or 13 now?
Well,
12. And you mentioned a conversation you had with her about her wanting to go out with her friends.
oh yeah.
And you said, well, yeah, I would love for you to, and here are kind of the requirements to be able to do that. Will you share that story? Because I thought that was such a cool story.
Yeah, so my daughter's 12. She's a petite girl and just like many are. And I told her she was probably like, I mean, she was probably like 8 at the time. And I was like, hey, look, you want to go out one day, right? She's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, you want to go with your friends to the mall? You want to go to the movies? You want to go do something? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'll make you a deal. I was like, you could go out with your friends as soon as I feel comfortable with your self-defense skills. That's typically like, let's just call it like a blue belt in jujitsu or specific, like, let's just say there's a benchmark. I said,
Mhm.
you could choose to start now with me, or you could wait until you're older and then start. Either way, it's your decision. But the longer you wait, the longer it's going to take you to acquire the skills that are going to make me feel comfortable. So what would you like to do? And she's like, let's start tomorrow. I'm like, all right, let's go. So that's the way that's the way it created itself. And it's been good. It's been fun.
Hey, I think you can sell a little bit too based on that. It's like, hey, I'll just give you the option. What would you prefer? But that's what I love is like, there's a lesson there in parenting instead of, and by the way, I've been very guilty of like the trying to force kids into like what you need them to do. You offered a choice.
Like this is your choice. And with the thing with self-defense and the kids understand this now that they're a little bit older, 9 and 12 is like with my son and I try not to be overbearing about it, right? But I just express to them like, look, this world is a tough place. And and it is my job to try and prepare you as well as I can for that. And the way I prepare my son is different than the way I prepare my daughter. They have two different threats coming to them, like your
Mhm.
son, for example, and compared to my daughter.
Mhm.
They're the same age, similar age. They're completely different. Your son is, you don't have to worry. What I worry about with my son is I never want him to be the bully. So I need to train and develop his self-confidence that he is never the bully and he always stands up for others. Whereas Ava, I don't need her. I'm not worried about her bullying somebody. I'm worried about somebody putting their hands on her. And so I train them very differently. And that's just the reality of life. You know, she's 100 pounds and she's probably not going to get too much bigger. I don't know, wherever she's X height. My son, like he's still growing. He's going to be 200 plus pounds. Like it's just a night and day difference. And that's why we train them a little bit differently.
I'll tell you the common theme though that I'm picking up: confidence.
Yeah.
Because actually bullies bully because of lack of confidence from my experience.
100%. 100%.
So what are things, let's go to like dad mode for this is the Do Business, Do Life podcast. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
We can go wherever we need to go here. When it comes to instilling confidence in kids, I heard the Ava story. What other thought processes do you have?
I think you bring up a really good point. Just to summarize, like with Caden, the biggest bullies I ever saw in my life were always the ones that were most insecure. That always happened. And so if I could develop his confidence by training, he will never feel obligated to be a bully. If I could develop his confidence through sport, through hard work, through all these different things that develop his confidence, he will have the comfort to be nice and low key. And that's what we want. We want that controlled confidence and comfort, right? Where he doesn't have to boast. He doesn't need to be that guy. He doesn't ever going to bully somebody. And he also needs to be loving and caring and all the things that we care about in a man. Whereas with Ava, that confidence comes through aggression. It's a little bit different. Her confidence, I grab her wrist. I want you to boom. Her confidence comes from training over and over, me grabbing her by the waist, me putting her over my shoulder, me doing all kinds of stuff to her so she could develop that confidence that if someone did put their hands on her, she could act immediately and act with violence. And that's what I believe she needs in that particular situation. But sorry, I can go off these tangents because I'm just very passionate about it. I just want to really, as a dad, I want to look back and be like, did I do everything in my power to set my kids up for success? Did I provide them all the tools that I wish I had had when I was younger to live a lifestyle that was one where I was loving and caring and compassionate and giving, but also hardworking and had the grit to survive in a world that's going to be tough, you know?